Again, it's Michelle with Michelle's Life. I'm here again to do another tag video. These are a lot of fun, but I feel like they take a lot of work because I have to write down the questions, write down the answers, go and figure out the answers, find the books. It's a lot of work. So this is the A to Z Bookish survey, which was originally created by Perpetual Page Turner. I found the original post on her blog, so I will leave the link to her blog down below. The first one is author you read the most books from, and that would have to be, I'm going to choose Beth Revis because I've read her trilogy, I read her book of short stories, I read her standalone, and I just recently purchased her writing advice book. Then in the beginning of next year she's coming out with a contemporary, YA contemporary book, which I will be automatically purchasing. So I've read the most diverse amount of things from this author, so that's who I'm going to choose for that. Number 2 is the best sequel ever. I don't know if it's the best sequel ever, but I'm going to go with Crown of Embers. 1, because the cover is the most beautiful cover in the whole series, and 2, because I liked the pace of this book more than I did the first and the third. Number 3 is currently reading, and I'm currently reading Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I'm only about a third of the way through right now. I only started it today. It is my first time reading Harry Potter. I'll leave the link to my Harry Xmas to You video down below if you want to see why. Is my drink of choice, and my drink of choice would have to be coffee or peach tea. I do love the Arizona Georgia peach, and I also like, I don't know what brand makes it, I think it might be actually Crystal Light. I don't know if that's any good for you, but I like the Crystal Light peach tea packets that you put in your water bottles. I drink one of those every day. E-reader or physical book. I personally like to read a physical book better than an e-book, but I usually buy more ebooks than I do physical books because they're cheaper and I can find out whether or not I like them without the risk of spending too much money on a book only to hate it. So I'm more likely to read an ebook before the physical book most of the time, unless the book is super hyped or I've been highly recommended to read it, then I'll pick up the physical copy, but I usually go with ebook. Plus I love my Kindle, and I love that you can read at night in the tub and while you eat. I'm always too afraid to eat while I'm reading a physical book because I'm afraid to get food on my book. So F is fictional character you probably would have dated in high school. I don't have a physical copy of either of these books, but probably Adam Parrish from the Raven Cycle. He was astute and poor, and that was basically me in high school, so I was always very studious and always poor. And then the other one I personally love, my book boyfriend, is from Kimberly Durding's The Taking, and I personally can't remember his name, but he does beautiful chalk drawings, and his favorite book is Fahrenheit 451. Sold. Letter G. Glad you gave this book a chance. So when I first got my Kindle, I paid, I think, something stupid, $11 for 1,000 Pieces of You. I think it's called 1,000 Pieces of Me, whatever. You know, the Claudia Gray book. And then I realized that books are way cheaper than that if you just search around. So I found Scott Westerfeld Afterworlds for 99 cents. And I was just like, I know Scott Westerfeld, I read his Ugly series, I'll check this out. It is a hunker. And so I bought it for 99 cents on the Kindle originally, and then I found it for 50 cents on Book Outlet. So you are a steal, sir. I love this book. It was definitely a 5-star read. It is a little creepy. I couldn't read it at night. The book is told through 2 different perspectives. Each chapter is alternating between the perspectives. One perspective is from the YA author, and then the other perspective is from her character that is in the book that she wrote. So it's really good. H is Hidden Gem, and that would be The House of the Spirits. I would have never picked this up if I didn't take this one class. It was called Interdisciplinary Topics. It was part of my English degree. I don't know. But anyway, this was one of the required readings, and this book was so good. It was my first magical realism book, and I love that it takes place in Chile, and the writing is poetic and beautiful, and if you haven't read this, check it out. If you're looking for something out of the YA, but something that would be easy for you to get into that's kind of like YA, I would pick this up. I, important moment in your reading life. During college, since I was reading so many books for my degree, I didn't have time, and I didn't really want to spend time reading on my own, so I stopped reading. And then when I graduated I was teaching and I was grading papers, and again I wasn't reading. So it wasn't until I had my daughter and this is TMI, but I was up several times a night. I was only sleeping at 3 hours at a time and then getting up for 30 minutes to pump breast milk. And I was reading on my phone, and then my husband got me a Kindle, and then that sparked because I was so bored all night at 3 o'clock in the morning and 6 o'clock in the morning that the Kindle and reading was great because I only had one hand available, so I had to have the Kindle. And it was amazing. Since then I've read 65 books, and that was in March. So yes, I'm thankful for breastfeeding. Just finished. What book did I just finish? And the book I just finished is Winter. I'll leave the link down to my review if you want to check that out. K is kind of books you won't read, and that would probably have to be erotica in like the romance section. I just don't have any interest in that. L is the longest book you ever read, and again, Winter. This baby was 823 pages. It doesn't look too big, but they use like Bible pages to make it thinner. M, major book hangover, and that would have to be Queen of Shadows, the 4th book in the Throne of Glass series. That book was also pretty big. I think it was 600 plus pages. But after reading that, I was so invested in that world, and I was so excited, and the book was so good that it took me probably like a week or two before I was able to pick up another book. N is number of bookcases you own. I own 5. I have one behind me. I have one over there. It's not full. And then I have 2 in my daughter's room that have books for her. Again, it's not completely full. And then I have one in our bedroom. The letter O, one book you have read multiple times, and that would be Cinder by Marissa Meyer. I actually just did a reread of this book and loved it again. It's a 5-star read. P, your preferred place to read, and that would be on the couch. It's actually really nice lately because the Christmas tree's right behind me and the lights dance along my page while I read, so it's pretty cool. Q is a quote that inspires you, and I don't really have one. I used to write down a lot of quotes, but lately, I don't know, I haven't been writing them down, so I don't have an answer to that. Reading regret for R, and that would be that I didn't read Harry Potter until now. I didn't read it because my twin brother loved it, and that's really stupid, but I didn't pick it up, and now here I am almost 26 years old reading Harry Potter for the first time. So I regret that I didn't read it while I was growing up like everyone else did, because I was the perfect age group where I would have grown up with Harry Potter, you know? S is series you started and need to finish. That would be the Grisha trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. I read the first book. I have the second book, so I just need to read it. I don't own the 3rd book yet because I want it in softcover. T is 3 of your all-time favorite books, and that would be The Body Electric by Beth Revis, Jane Eyre, and Fahrenheit 451. Unapologetic fangirl, and even though I wasn't a big fan of Winter, Cinder, and probably Throne of Glass would be my 2 books that I am unapologetic for. I know Throne of Glass gets a lot of flack, but whatever. I like it. And Lunar Chronicles actually seems to be all over loved, so definitely always will love the Lunar Chronicles, even though I didn't like Winter. V is very excited for this release more than all the other books for 2016, and that would be, it hasn't had a title release yet, I don't think. If it has, let me know. But the 5th book in the Throne of Glass series is what I'm most excited about for next year. W is worst bookish habit. My worst bookish habit is after I finish a book, I don't know what I want to start next, so I'll start like 7 books and put them all down, and then, I don't know, I'll have like 2 or 3 chapters read in each book, and then I have a hard time going back to them, so that's a pretty bad habit. X marks the spot. Pick the 27th book on your shelf, and I counted already, and the 27th book on my shelf was Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Y, your latest book purchase, and that would be Legacy of Kings on my Kindle because it was $1.99 during Cyber Monday. And then Z, a book that kept you up, and that would be Throne of Glass. I was so addicted to the series. I read the first 3 books within like 4 days, like all 3 books in 4 days, so I probably did lose some sleep over that. And that's it for this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you've done this video, leave a link down below or just tell me and I'll go check it out. If you spotted any of your favorites in this, definitely let me know, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Bye!